Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video. I have some updates for the future of The Walking Dead. This one we're going to touch on 6 to 7 more years of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, and probably not any of Rick. Alright dudes, so we got some new info for the future of the Walking Dead television series universe on AMC. The one that's continuing with the Walking Dead comic book series universe, having been over now for quite a while. I think, what was it, 2018, 2019, something like that. We got to see the last, I guess the last issue of The Walking Dead was Negan Lives. Is that the final issue for The Walking Dead they officially released? And no plans to do anything more with Walking Dead in the future, comic book wise. Television series universe AMC. What are we looking at going forward for the future of The Walking Dead?
Think about the future.
This year we got to see The Ones Who Live. Highly anticipated. Was pretty damn good, dudes. I think all of us enjoyed it very much. We just had hoped that we were going to get to see more. But we've got some updates on that from Andrew Lincoln with respect to, can we expect to see any more from Rick in the future for Walking Dead? So let's go into exactly what he says after we touch on what Norman Reedus has said about Daryl, which both are surprising to me. But what Norman Reedus has said about Daryl is more surprising than what Andrew Lincoln has said about Rick. So here is an article we have from IGN.com. The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus wants to keep playing Daryl Dixon for 6 or 7 more years. So the Walking Dead star Norman Reedus wants to keep playing Daryl for 6 or 7 more years in further spin-off projects. So either Daryl Dixon, we know that's going to be 3 seasons. So from now going forward, he's thinking like 6 or 7 more years, and then he's probably going to have to retire. Yeah, I would think so. He's getting older now. He's already had concussions on set, stuff like that. He's worked really hard, and we all really appreciate his work making Daryl, one of the best Walking Dead characters in either the comics or the TV series, and maybe arguably, when he's done his run, maybe the best, character for the Walking Dead TV series universe. So when asked how long he'd like to continue to play Daryl for, Reedus had a fairly clear idea. I think maybe 6 or 7 more years, he said, which would see him playing the role for 2 decades. So we finish off like maybe a 20-year deal. The Daryl Dixon spinoff has given me an opportunity to take the show in a direction that's different to the original show. I didn't want to make the same show again in a different location. I wanted to reinvent it, and they let me, with the other like-minded people involved, invent something new. So it feels fresh to me. It's in a different language. It's shot a different way. It's not really about zombies and who's going to get bit in this week. It's completely different. So as long as I keep reinventing it, it's fun. So we know the first season was in France. Second season will be Carol focused, Carol heavy. And I think there's been some different articles alluding to seeing different locations. So maybe different locations in Europe, different places in maybe season 2, season 3, and should be really great. So also for me, I think I've said with you guys before that the Daryl Dixon spinoff series has been kind of a standout for me, in that I didn't expect that I would like it as much, considering it was just Daryl originally. Now we got Carol too, so that's good. But it's way better than I thought it was going to be, and it actually is probably my favorite of the 3 series, considering The Ones Who Live was just a limited 1-season deal. Overall, I think the Daryl series is probably going to end up being my favorite. Although I do enjoy Dead City too, because Negan's fun, and Maggie, they're fun in a different way. Negan's fun as a lead in a different way, like in a Breaking Bad, Walter White kind of a way, versus, a classic hero like Daryl is, right? Different character, right? So next, we have for Andrew Lincoln's comments on the possibility of returning to the franchise as Rick. So the possibility of Andrew Lincoln coming back and playing Rick again. What could we be looking at? This is 2 days ago. Joey Poor The Walking Dead star Andrew Lincoln comments on the possibility of returning to the franchise. Andrew Lincoln returned to the Walking Dead franchise and spin-off series The Ones Who Live, which I'll add this in me saying it. I think it did really great, and it was awesome for what it was. Which continued the story of Rick and Michonne, it being like a love story, like they've said. Let me just see here. We got a stupid commercial. Make sure I mute the site here. Okay, I think we're okay. There we go. Okay. It was a solid series that fans seemed to enjoy. It was great to see these two characters reunite again for a whole new story, and it was something that Lincoln wasn't sure he'd actually get to do. So he continued, okay, so Lincoln also weighed in the possibility of reprising the role of Rick again at some point in the future, saying this, for me, felt like that we could comfortably say that that's done. So I'll add to what he's saying here, kind of like, as a lot of us suspected or thought when we saw the ending of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, we were like, damn, that feels like a Rick ending. That feels like the end for Rick. It didn't feel like we were going to get to see Rick again after that. It felt like that was it. Maybe cameos, but as far as like a whole series goes, that was a happy ending for Rick, as good as you could get in The Walking Dead. So that's that. He continued, that's a reunion. That's the perfect iteration of a story that I thought wasn't going to happen for a time. And then Denai and Scott both said, we need to reunite. We've got to do an epic love story. I went, that's a great idea. And let's tell the story of the CRM and do what the grown-ups have been doing, and maybe some filling in, because I love all of that. He went on to say that he's not counting out a possible return. So I'm a bit of a geek for all the mythology and what's going on, what's been happening. So the short answer is never say never, because if there's a good enough place to put Rick in that we haven't seen before, there are characters out in the universe that I would really love to act with again, but it has to be a really, really good story. So if the creative team can actually come up with another great story to tell for Rick, we could see Lincoln back in action. But even if that never happens, the actor had a great run in the zombie franchise. And that's it for that article. All right, so now we can comment, give our thoughts. I want to see yours below in the comments. What do you guys think about this? 6 to 7 more years of Daryl in the Walking Dead universe in either the Daryl Dixon series or maybe some other spin-offs. It sounds like Norman Reedus has some different ideas for this. Will they actually go 6 or 7 more years? Like if you count 2 and 3 for Daryl Dixon as 2, and then like another 4 after that. Maybe they could, maybe with like a break year in between or a couple of break years here and there. So that would push it out to like, into 2028, 2029, 2030, something like that. What do you guys think about this? Would you still be interested in watching the character, watching Daryl in the Walking Dead universe in some different locations, doing this thing that they're doing? Personally, for me, I think it's great. If they're only doing like 6 episodes, 8 episodes a season, whatever, then it's fun. The first season felt like every episode was good. It felt like the new character additions were unique and original and cool. And so I really enjoyed it. It'll be fun to see Carol with them again, too, in season 2 or season 3. So that'll be really great. And I don't know if it'll go all, like he's planning 6 or 7 years. Maybe it's up to him. If he wants to do it, if he's willing to do it, I'm sure AMC will say go for it if he's got the energy to go ahead and do it. I'd be interested to watch because Daryl is one of the best Walking Dead characters ever. Maybe he is the best, especially if this actually goes through and he's able to actually do, another at least 4 or 5 years. And if this is the last we've seen of Rick, that for me would put Daryl as kind of like the forefront Walking Dead character, having been in the most seasons, having had some of the best stories. If this really is it for Rick, I think this puts Daryl at that forefront of kind of taking over as maybe the lead Walking Dead survivor, the lead Walking Dead character. It's a shame for Rick. We would like to see more from him. I mean, I don't know what it is. Lots of seasons for Norman Reedus, for Daryl. Very limited for Andrew Lincoln, for Rick. I don't know if maybe for some reason it's too difficult for him to get over there and do it, or if he just really wants to do other projects, or if he is not really that, interested unless they have something. Like, based on the interviews here that we've seen, it sounds like Andrew Lincoln's only going to go for it if like there's like a really good story, and the love story for The Ones Who Live for him was good enough to say, okay, let's do it, but was only able to do those 6 episodes, where I felt like that could have been a 2 or 3 season deal at the least. So that's what it is. But then again, people have different lives, they have different things going on. So for him, maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe they could have done something in his home country. They could have had him go at part of the CRM to the UK or something, or somewhere else. I think that makes sense, especially for him, considering he's from there anyway, right? So I don't know. Maybe this is the last we'll see of Rick in the Walking Dead series. You guys let me know. Leave your comments below. Do you think we'll see Rick back again in another series? And maybe it's just like, they'll come up with something or find a way to get him back again. But I don't know. It just really feels like even with him coming back for The Ones Who Live, it was, just a really short run. It was a short deal with him and Michonne just coming back for that love story. Give it a good ending for Rick and finish it off. It's also interesting that he didn't think it was going to happen, because for me, it's like, if you have a character this big, can't you just make it happen? I don't know. I know there's a lot of people involved. There's Scott Gimple and Denai and everybody else, but couldn't he just make it happen? Just if he was willing to do it, wouldn't AMC do it? Like, is Daryl a bigger draw for a series than Rick? I don't think so. Based on what we saw for season 1 of Daryl versus The Ones Who Live, The Ones Who Live felt more hyped to me. So I don't know. Anyway, leave your comments below, your predictions below, guys. What do you think about this? And if it's true that this is it for Rick, and we're going to see another like 5 to 7 years for Daryl, what does that mean to you for the characters and for as fans of The Walking Dead? Thumbs up below, subscribe at the bottom. Comments, though. Got to see what you guys are saying about this. What do you think? The end for Rick, maybe, and probably from the sounds of things, and so much more ground to still cover with Daryl. I don't know. Who would have thought this is how it would go? That's it for this video, guys. See you again soon for another. Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.